Good day, Better Believers. Welcome to another episode of Better Believe It. Let me start with a fun fact. Elon Musk, the CEO and founder of SpaceX, created the SpaceX Mars program last 2017. This program aims to facilitate the eventual colonization of the Big Red Planet. The goal is landing the first humans on Mars by 2024. As of this time, that's just 4 years away. But do you guys ever wonder what will it take to colonize Mars? Of course you do. That's why you're here, aren't you? Well, Better Believers, fasten your seatbelts, tie up your rocket boots, because we're going to give you 10 things that might help us colonize the Big Red Planet, Mars. Number 1 is definitely a requirement, trust me. But we're getting ahead of ourselves, so let's check out number 10, tweaked DNA. The key to help us survive the harsh environment on Mars is our DNA. The planet is not some beautiful beach filled with palm trees, white sands, and surfboards, Better Believers. It's a harsh planet full of hazards like high radiation, bone-wasting gravity, and the deadliest, no oxygen. Just imagine yourself in the middle of the Martian wasteland, no equipment. You'll perish in seconds. Makes you wonder why we even want to go there. That is why scientists believe that the key to surviving Mars is for us to tweak our DNA. But don't these things usually only happen in sci-fi movies or stories? Well, not for long, apparently. Scientists are already practicing genetic modification on tardigrades, also known as microanimals, since they are so tiny you can't see them, for humans to have a better chance of bracing the harsh conditions of Mars. The proposed modifications would make the person survive long-term space flights, immune to radiation, and capable of living with less oxygen, as well as making them smarter and less anxious. Basically, you'll be a living, breathing superhero. Oh, and another modification is make them less stinky. I guess a travel requirement from Earth to Mars, which is approximately 7 months, is for you to smell good since you'll be stuck in the spaceship for that long. Better pack some deodorant just in case. So, Better Believers, I hope you took that down. What did you think about needing to tweak our DNA for us to colonize Mars? Pretty cool stuff, right? Well, wait till you reach our number 1 spot. Stay tuned. But before we continue on, remember to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications so you can get all the latest updates, or Buck will rise from the dead and eat your face off. Number 9, human population. So we want to colonize Mars, correct? Sounds easy, right? Yeah, on paper maybe. People want to colonize the entire planet, build something from the ground up, make the environment hospitable for Homo sapiens to live and thrive. But how on earth, pun intended, are you gonna do that? Well, Mars is far, far, far away, and in order for a colony to function that far from earthly support, things have to be thought out very carefully, including how many people are needed to make it work. Colonizing a planet like Mars would take hundreds, if not thousands, of humans to make it successful. But obviously, not every one of us can go. We will have to determine first how many people it will take to sustain a colony. What type of skills do these people have, and what would help the colony thrive? Of course, you also have to think about the resources needed: food, water, and other basic stuff to survive. I know I need my smartphone or my Netflix to keep me entertained. Not only that, the people must be psychologically fit as well. You could go mad in isolation. I know I'd go mad if I didn't have anyone to talk to. And just stuck inside a bubble, never able to go out and get some sunlight. So think twice, Better Believers, if you still want to go to Mars. Number 8, food production. Okay, I think this is obvious enough. We need food to survive, right? Now here on Earth, you can find food pretty easily. If you're hungry, just open your fridge. Pick a food you like, cook it, and eat it. Feeling hungry but too lazy to cook? Order a hamburger from a fast food joint, right? Pretty easy. Now imagine you're on Mars, hungry, and the food from your fridge has ran out. Your food supply is gone, and you gotta eat something, or else you'll die from starvation. You sure as heck can't call McDonald's for a delivery. You also can't drive to the nearest 7-Eleven. This is why food production is so important when planning colonization of Mars. Installing a greenhouse would be one of the highest priorities in the settlement, so that food production and preparation would be possible to provide sustenance for everyone, and basically keep everybody alive. Unfortunately, craving burgers and fries or pizza on Mars would be a bummer. But think of it this way, maybe you can finally quit fast food on Mars. Fun fact, Better Believers, the supply of food to space stations and other long-duration missions is heavy and very expensive. One astronaut requires approximately 1.8 kilograms of food and packaging per day. For a long-term mission, this number can grow to as much as 24,000 pounds, or about 10,886 kilograms. Long story short, being in space for so long makes you hungry. All this talking of food sure is making me hungry. Anyways, let's check out number 7, spaceship. How do you plan on going to Mars without a spaceship? But not just any spaceship. Apparently the ship would have to be pretty strong inside and out to ensure that the people inside would arrive at Mars in one piece. During the transit to Mars, the crew will be exposed to damaging levels of radiation that will significantly increase their risk of developing cancer. Oh joy. Unless you want your future children to be little green aliens, it's best to make sure the ship to Mars is fully equipped to handle the harshness of the environment. Also, since the travel from Earth to Mars would be approximately 7 months, it would be a good idea to make yourself feel at home. So the spaceship would also have to be pretty comfortable and cozy. Maybe even a television in there. Do they have cable in space? Who knows? Number 6. Having children. Well, it has to happen, right? Assuming that the first humans on Mars still have their bodies intact, sooner or later, a certain percentage of settlers are going to want to have kids. In order for the colonization process to be truly successful, humans would have to make sure that there is a future for the colony. And what better way to reproduce and have more humans around? By having children, we can make sure that our civilization would continue on. Scientists predict that if done right, soon there will be communities and villages on Mars. The people would be called Martians. These Martians would have their own culture, their own beliefs. Remarkable if you think about it. A new whole group of humans who live on a planet far, far away. Someday, we might be able to do it. Liking the video so far? Well, click that like button. But first, here's a question for you better believers. Do you want to go to Mars? Drop a comment below and let us know why you want to go to Mars. And if you were on Mars, what would be the first thing you would do? Alright, let's continue. Number 5. Basic utilities. Before we even think about colonizing Mars, we would of course need basic utilities to be able to make it a habitable place to live in. And what would be the bare necessities that we will need? Well, as mentioned before, food is a necessity, but you can't eat if you die from lack of oxygen. Mars's atmosphere is 100 times thinner than the Earth's atmosphere, and 95% composed of carbon dioxide, which would obviously make it hard for any human life form to breathe there. Trying to breathe on Mars without any special equipment would make your head explode. Or so, that's what the movie Total Recall showed me. Have you ever heard of MOXIE? MOXIE means Mars Oxygen In Situ Resource Utilization Experiment. Whew, no wonder they just call it MOXIE. Anyway, MOXIE is a demonstration mission designed to convert carbon dioxide into oxygen. This is called, say it with me now, better believers, electrolysis. If the experiment turns out to be a success, then it means we can produce oxygen for humans on Mars. Isn't that amazing? For now, let's just depend on the cool-looking spacesuits, okay? Power is also extremely important regarding life on Mars. Without power, it would be hazardous to humans since it will halt any productivity being done like oxygen, food production, local communications, and most importantly, medicine. Nuclear power is the best solution to powering life on Mars. Although solar panels may be able to provide power, but it won't be a lot. That's a lot of stuff, don't you think so, better believers? Number 4. Equipment for moving over the surface. Earlier we mentioned spacesuits. Let's get right into that. Aren't we so mesmerized when we watch space movies with astronauts in their suits? I am. Mars suits, however, are different. It's more body-hugging compared to the prior spacesuits that look like they're filled like balloons. It's a lot heavier than the ones they use on the moon. Since Mars has a gravity over 1/3 of Earth's and the moon's 1/6, carrying 50 pounds on the moon would double on Mars. Since Mars' atmosphere isn't suitable for humans, the Mars suit is a must-have. If someone is crazy enough to want to jog around Mars, it would be highly discouraged due to your limited air supply and the extra weight you would have to carry using your suit. Luckily, there is this thing called a Mars rover. These are designed to transport humans on Mars. There are 2 types of Mars rovers to choose from. One that is pressurized for humans to work without their spacesuit, and unpressurized for those with spacesuits. Which one would you choose? Alright, better believers, it's now time for the top 3 things that will help us colonize Mars. Are you excited as we are? Well, here we go! 3. Jobs. You might be wondering, what would humans even do on Mars? As much as it is nice to sit on our butts the whole day and binge watch a series, there's a habitat to build. Jobs or tasks are extremely important and must be done to maintain life on Mars. Everyone should provide some sort of contribution to make life easier on Mars. If we don't, then we risk the colony being a total disaster. Makes me wonder why chilling out watching TV is so glorified in our culture. In order to make living on Mars more comfortable and actually livable, it would need settlements. Humans would need to continually build, and in order to survive, each human shelter has to do their part. This is why it is so important to have a screening process before one can go to Mars. You have to have a skill and a trade, one that would help the colony thrive and not be chaotic. There should be someone who prepares the food, like maybe a space chef, an engineer who knows how to work equipment, a scientist, and so on. How about you, Better Believers? What would your skill be if you were allowed to go on Mars? Number 2. On-world and off-world communications. Well, technology has become so ingrained in our human culture that it's hard to imagine what the world is like without smartphones or social media. Just ask your grandma. Communication is key when it comes to any human being in building and maintaining relationships, which is why it is important to have some sort of communication, especially with humans from Earth. Living in a new planet would mean a lot of research is to be done. And with the help of communication, researchers would be able to share their work with each other to improve the colonization of Mars. Luckily, Mars already has communication satellites, although not as advanced as what we have on Earth. We really should consider ourselves lucky since we are able to send messages and receive replies within seconds. Can't say the same for Mars. One-way communication would take about 3 minutes to 22 minutes max. Any real-time communication like chatting or phone conversations would be highly impractical due to the lag involved. Really makes you appreciate how far technology has come on Earth, huh? The communication might not be as fast and advanced as compared to Earth, but it is possible. And now, Better Believers, we have reached the number 1 thing we need in order for us to colonize Mars. Have you figured it out yet? All right, for our number 1 spot we have number 1, habitats. As previously mentioned, buildings are important on Mars in order to make a habitat for humans that is sustainable, comfortable, and spacious. The biggest challenge with building is that it would cost a lot of money. It was estimated to be about $2 million per brick. Wow! A human on Earth could buy a McDonald's franchise with that money. Anyways, architects have worked on understanding the right materials needed to construct a living space that can shield the inhabitants from harmful exposures of Mars radiation, sort of like a huge protective bubble. If you didn't space out during science class and actually listen to your teacher, you would know that greenhouses act like a blanket that absorb radiation. Long-term habitats would require more protection from radiation exposure, which can be provided by greenhouses. In order to build a permanent human presence on Mars, humanity has to develop necessary strategies in order to live sustainably in such a hostile environment. Scientists have said that while going to Mars is a challenge, the real challenge is to actually live there. According to Elon Musk, the risk of death is high, and it would be a real challenge daily just to survive. So, Better Believers, still thinking about going to Mars? Well, there you have it, Better Believers. That concludes our list of things that we need to colonize Mars. Do you agree with what we said? Do you think we missed anything? Tell us what you learned from this video by commenting below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Click that bell so you'll always be up to date about our latest content. Oh, and before I forget, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to check out one of these. Go ahead and click on it. Buck commands it. See you later.